So today I'm going to be making a video. I don't want to call out the creator because I hate drama related content. However, I wanted to give my own opinion on this, right? Because there are some people talking about it, and I think I have a decent opinion on it. I could be wrong, who knows? But I hope you guys can listen to me, right? So a certain gacha content creator tweeted, HSR has a power creep problem only if you allow it to happen, either by greed or stupidity. Change my mind. Now, I'm going to say this as lightly as possible. This take is retarded, right? Now, I'm going to tell you why. In this MOC 12 floor, right, I used my dot premium team on this first side, right? I used my Fei Xiao team on this first side. Keep in mind, the only thing that changed was this decaying shadow mob and the trotters. And of course, the massive HP scaling increase. So last MOC, I beat this Farog side 1 cycle sustained with my Fei Xiao and 0 cycle sustainless, right? By no means am I a pro at this game. I don't even understand what's going on most of the time. But that should give you an idea of how strong Fei Xiao was on the first side last MOC. 1 cycle with sustain, 0 cycle without a sustain. Now, in this current MOC, my Fei Xiao took 5 cycles. My dot premium team cleared faster than my Fei Xiao team. Do you understand just how big of a difference that is from 1 cycles with a sustain to 5 cycles with a sustain? That is how much worse the power creep got on only this first side, and I have a fucking Fei Xiao, right? If we're talking about, oh, it's just greed or stupidity, people who make bad pulls and that's why they're struggling, this is Fei Xiao. Everyone's been telling everyone to pull Fei Xiao. Everyone's been telling everyone to pull for Robin. Everyone's been telling everyone Aventuриne's the best for the follow-up team. I have one of the strongest comps in the entirety of the game, and my Fei Xiao team is taking quadruple as long to clear the exact same MOC, with the only difference being trotters and the enemies getting way higher HP. That's literally the only difference, right? So you can't even say that it's people's stupidity with how they pull, because even if you pulled the entire Fei Xiao team, a dot premium team, once again, for me personally at least, literally performed better than my Fei Xiao team on the first side. And I will say part of it is a skill issue. Once again, I do not consider myself really good at this game. I can kind of understand how strong a character or a comp is compared to others. However, I can't myself play like a complete pro who knows how to optimize every single turn, right? But that's still just absolutely bonkers. How do I go from 0 and 1 cycling to taking 4 to 5 cycles within 1 patch? That's absolutely stupid, right? And I have an Acheron, but I do not have a Jiaoqiu. And the issue I ran on the True Sting side was because I didn't have Jiaoqiu, who could take advantage of the bugs constantly taking turns over and over again, my Acheron couldn't get ult off quick enough because I just have average relic investment on my Acheron team. And because of this, I genuinely die. I had to start putting my Silver Wolf and Pela on HP relics so I could finally even have a chance at clearing the second side, because my Acheron couldn't get the ult off fast enough to kill the bugs, and without Jiaoqiu, I just can't get debuffs every time an enemy takes a turn, right? As well as the damage vulnerability. I'm also missing out on that as well. So literally just missing Jiaoqiu once has completely bricked my Acheron comp currently to where it's just performing way worse than it would do with a Jiaoqiu. But I don't want to pull for Jiaoqiu because Jiaoqiu is an incredibly niche support, right? Why would I want to waste as a low spender, right? I get around 110 pulls every patch on average. I lose almost every single 50-50 in this game. My last 11 50-50s, I've only won 2 of them. And my only ever 2 75-25s, I've as well lost both of them. So personally, as someone who has been on the receiving end of Hoyo's shitty 50-50 and 75-25 tactics, it isn't always a good choice to go for these niche best in slots for a certain comp, knowing that maybe Robin might pop up and I could get a Robin E1, or I can invest in the new meta with the 3.x DPSs, which is what I'm going to do. I've already decided I'm going to skip everything and I'm going to go for My Day in 3.1, and I'm going to see if I can get a Castress team as well in 3.2. Because I'm just sick of this power creep shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense for the absolute strongest comp in the game to go from 0 cycling to 4 and 5 cycling. It makes 0 sense, right? Every single 0 cycle that I've seen for Fei Xiao on this Farog side, this MOC, has had an E1 Robin, right? E1 Robin, and it has to be sustainless. Last MOC, you could do it with E0 Robin and with a sustain with Aventurine. This MOC, you need sustainless and you need E1 Robin to 0 cycle, right? And once again, I understand that 0 cycles aren't the end all be all, but 0 cycles are usually a good way to see how long a character may last you, right? Like, if a character is currently getting consistent 0 cycles without absolutely crazy investment like Fei Xiao is needing currently, then it's a really good pull because you can tell it'll last you quite a while, or at least I thought so. However, within one MOC, Fei Xiao has become significantly worse and needs significantly higher not only relic investment but cost investment to do the exact same thing that she did last MOC against the exact same fucking boss, right? The only thing that changed once again is HP increase and trotters. That's it. That's literally it, right? So I don't think it's greed or stupidity, but I think what they meant by greed here was maybe people just pulling characters they like and not pulling for meta. However, once again, this same creator had this take on the triple rerun banners, that the triple rerun banners are literally only a good thing because from their perspective, they just never have been a free-to-play or low spender and can imagine how shitty it is, right? I'll explain to you why the triple rerun banner is beneficial to people with the resources, but not the people without, because the people without the resources to actually get the characters they want, here's the issue, right? I'll try to explain it as best as I can. Basically, let's say you wanted Herda, right? And then you see Robin is rerunning. You don't have enough resources to get both of them, and to be honest, you might even lose a 50-50 and not get either of them. Now, the issue here is, in this game, most characters on their second rerun, I don't think a second reran character has ever reran in 3 patches like Robin. So most people would have predicted a second rerun for Robin in around 4 or 5 patches, instead, once again, 3 patches twice in a row, right? Like, that's absolutely insane. So free to play and low spender didn't know Robin was coming this early, then they can't get Robin, or they go for Herda, lose the 50-50, they can't get either of them, and now they have to wait 4 or 5 patches for another rerun to come. This is the issue with the triple rerun banner, and if it isn't consistent, right? Because we truly have no clue just if it's going to be a consistent thing or not. If it isn't, people are not going to have the resources and be taken aback when a character whose meta comes out, and then if they lose the 50-50 or do not have the resources to pull for them, they are going to have to wait a further 4 patches, which, by the way, is the equivalent of 6 months before they get their next rerun. And by the time that rerun comes around, they might have already been power crept. Like, let's say Acheron, for example. Acheron came out in 2.6 after releasing in 2.1. That's a 5 patch difference for her rerun, and by 2.6 we already had teams like Rappa, and we as well got Fei Xiao and sustains like Ling Sha, who made the break team significantly stronger. So there were significantly better options by the time a rerun ever came around for Acheron. So Acheron didn't even have all that much of value when her rerun came around, and most people probably went for Aventurine since he's still the best preservation unit in the entirety of the game. This is the issue, right? Reruns can either take 3 patches, 4, 5, or they may never even rerun ever again, just like Seal, right? You truly never know with Hoyo, and this is the issue with the triple rerun banner. If you have money, or if you have the resources to pull multiple characters, you benefit from this. But if you're a free-to-play or low spender and you haven't like skipped 1 or 2 patches to completely save your Jades, you're fucked. You don't know when a character you want, if you end up skipping them for meta, is going to rerun again. And if by the time they rerun, they're even any good in the endgame anymore at all. That's the issue this game has. So no, I don't think power creep in this game is because of greed or stupidity. 100%, that applies to some people, right? Some people do just make completely horrid decisions in this game when it comes to making comps, right? However, I do think that you just cannot turn a blind eye to how bad the power creep is in this game. In Genshin, you can still use a Hu Tao and completely fucking clear the endgame without an issue. Jin Shi, who released in like 1.1 or 1.2, is still the strongest DPS in the game going into 2.0 and 2.1. This game isn't the same. In Hoyo, almost every single time a new and better character comes out, they try to make another newer and better character than the previous one, right? Acheron. Big change, right? 2 patches later, we get Firefly. Firefly, in my opinion, is very arguably Acheron tier, right? After Firefly, we go a bit slow, right? We end up getting Yun Li. Now, Yun Li wasn't Acheron tier, but she is very, very universal as a unit, which gives her a lot better pull value than if she were just top 1 in like one mode, right? And then in 2.5, we get Fei Xiao, who is unarguably the strongest comp in the game currently. So Hoyo has this trend. Every single new DPS they make, they want to be newer and better almost every single time. And I'm gonna say it how it is, right? Jing Yuan has one of the most badass designs in this game. Like, no troll, I truly believe he has the best male design in this game. But the reason I never pulled for him and why I continue not to is because I would have had to pull for Sunday as well. So I would have had to pull Sunday and Jing Yuan on the same patch, which I would not have been able to do. So I just skipped Jing Yuan, tried to get Sunday, then I lost by 50-50 on Sunday. So now I have to wait until maybe like Castrus's banner whenever he gets reran. Right? So once again, you are hearing it from me, a low spender who consistently loses 50-50s and ends up having to constantly change his pulling plan because he cannot get certain units on triple rerun banners or even just normal banners because of low resources, right? It's not greed or stupidity that's not allowing me to get a comp that is catered towards the new archetype of endgame. It's literally just my shitty luck in losing 50-50s and 75-25s and just being taken aback when randomly a character suddenly becomes way better out of nowhere and I can't pull them and both the support that makes them significantly stronger. Once again, this is the reason I don't want to pull Jiaoqiu for my Acheron, and why I won't is because he's an incredibly niche support unit at E0 as 0. Obviously with Eidolons and Lycone, he becomes more general and you can use him in a lot of teams, but at E0 as 0 specifically, the only team he really benefits massively is Acheron, and I don't really care for my Acheron team anymore as I'm going to be saving for the 3.x patch units, right? So that's all I have to say about this. I don't know if people will agree with me. I'm sure a lot of people won't agree with me. However, I just think when you're a content creator who gets like E6 S5s of a character every single fucking time they release, your opinion is just almost completely invalid when you're speaking on the general population of players who are either free to play or low spender. Because even if, like, I remember this trend like a year ago or 2 years ago where content creators would make like a second account that was free to play to like prove something to their audience that free to play is still fun. The difference is you already have a main account with every single character in the game. That is the difference. When you can literally just use your free-to-play team, be like, oh, this is so much fun, haha, this is challenging, and then straight up just go back into your main account and keep testing and doing endgame and content with all that, like, that massive variety of characters that you spent money on for that account, right? This is why I just don't take people who spend copious amounts of money on this game seriously, giving opinions on what like a free-to-play or a low spender should be doing. right? Because we have way less resources than someone who has a main account with like multiple E2 S1s, multiple E6 S5s, every single character that's ever released in the game. You don't even play the game and you have other people running your account, so you never have to worry about farming relics every single day either. So your enjoyment of the game is automatically better, right? You don't have to go every single day, a month and a half straight, doing relics at all, right? Someone else does it for you. You just log in whenever you want to have fun, and you're able to take advantage of those relics. This is as well why I do not take private server people seriously when they do testing on characters, because the relic investment and the fact that they can just spawn in any character they want is unrealistic to 99% of the people who play this game. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.